Hello everybody, my name is CoolBlue and I'm bringing you guys this video from CasNet Network, which CasNet Network presents the Dota 2 patch notes. It's going to be my patch analysis of the Dota 2 patch notes that just came out, and this is going to be the shifting snow set, or shifting snow patch. I'm not too terribly sure what they called it. It's like something generic like that. So let me make sure my music is actually turned to a decent level so you guys can actually hear it and enjoy it in the background, but also let me make sure it's not too loud. Alright, so this is just basically going to be a patch analysis by me. I also have a few other things I was going to show too, but I'm not too entirely sure if I'm going to show those, so I'll actually improvise as I go. But let's go and get the show on the road. So if you guys are checking this video on YouTube, thank you guys for checking it out. And I had a special announcement to make first. Of course, I have to say a thank you to Ordolf. I was involved in the Dota 2 Reddit Secret Santa, and Ordolf sent me this freaking baller Prophet, which is crazy because I don't play Prophet because I'm bad at microing, but I will still adore this because Ordolf sent it to me. So thank you, Ordolf, for sending me that. That was pretty awesome. And let's go and get that out of the way. Alright, cool. So one of the things I wanted to show first before we actually got down and dirty into the patch notes is first of all, I just want to let everybody know it's going to take me a few minutes to actually get to the patch notes, but there you go, Shifting Snow's update. That's the update that we're going to look into. And I have not read through the patch notes yet. And the reason why I wanted to do this special part first is because I actually wanted to have a nice little unique perspective as to what has changed and what's significant about what's changed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my... Oh, okay now. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my other monitor right now so you guys can see a very cheap and cheesy PowerPoint that I just made. Like, I legitimately made this within 20 minutes, so don't expect it to be too terribly pretty, although it looks kind of pretty for what it is. So let's go ahead and get a monitor capture in here. And I don't know why I didn't set this up before, but it's going to be... Alright, second monitor. This is going to be monitor number 2, is that correct? Yep, there it is. Alright, so it's gonna be all ghetto style, but don't worry guys, CoolBlue has got the information there for you. Let's go and do a preview. I want fit to window. Okay, Dota. Or no, Dota. Okay, real life you suck. Alright, I think this is showing the way I wanted to show. Yep, that is showing the way I wanted to show. Sweet. Alright, cool. Fantastic. Alright, so let me go ahead and use this as my control because I just realized I did this cool thing. Anyway, so this is going to be a Dota 2 state of the game. This is just for anybody who's watching this in the future, just to give you guys some idea of what Dota's at right now. Now, I have a lot of information in here. Basically, it's just all copied from Dota Buff. I should say my state, or my source right there, according to Dota Buff. And let's go and get started. So, the main things I wanted to highlight were just basically the most played heroes, and also the heroes that you frequently see. So as of this month, the most played hero is Phantom Assassin, which is not a big deal, or which is not a big surprise because the whole entire Phantom Assassin Oracle thing was going on. But Pudge, Sniper, and Axe, and Faces Void, I think Faces Void is one of the significant ones, and Slark are one of the other significant ones, showing you that they're still relevant, they still get played a lot. Moving over to everybody else. We see ourselves the most played as of patch 6.82C, which is the last patch that just came out. Phantom Assassin did take the top of that because of her whole entire thing. Faces Void, he's up there as well. And also a notable mention goes to both Slark and Ricky. I didn't realize that Ricky was getting played that much, but I mean, it's not a whole lot. I mean, the gigantic gap between Pudge and Ricky is actually quite huge, but still, that number is still there, so... That's there. Moving on to the most played all time. Pudge is at the top because Pudge, everybody likes Pudge. Who doesn't want to be Pudge? And Sniper, he's also at the top too. Of course, Ricky and Drow Ranger and Bounty Hunter, they're up there as well. I think that's more so according to what people who are newer like to play. Moving over to the highest win rate, because I thought this was kind of cool. It has the highest win rate, but Necrophos is up there at the top. A lot of people have been picking Necrophos as a tournament play. A lot of people have been picking Organ Magus as a tournament play too, and Wraith King as well. So it's cool to see that those people are up there, despite the fact that they may have not been having the greatest of times in some of the games I've actually casted in the Joint Dota League and whatnot. So you can take that with whatever grain of salt you want to, but I actually do commentate the Joint Dota League and stuff. And let me make sure this is centered so you guys actually have a nice viewing experience. Alright, and like I said guys, keep in mind it's going to take me a few minutes to actually get to the patch notes, but I feel like this is important. Anyway, continuing on, Omni's at the top of that, which is actually really weird because pretty much nobody really plays them. I mean, Abaddon's at the top too, but nobody really plays them either. I guess that's all weird. Moving over to the highest win rate as of patch 6.82C. We see more or less more of the same, except for Wraith King's a little bit higher than he was on our last chart. Moving over to the next part, highest win rate of all time. I thought this was significant because Necrophos is at the top of that map. Of course, you have to consider the numbers, but this is the highest win rate of all times, and Necrophos has the highest win rate. He's been seeing a lot of tournament play. Like, people love to play /Bane Necrophos. I think he's had a huge impact in the game. Speaking of impact, our next one is most game impact this month, and Necrophos is third. Cool Blue totally didn't plan it out, but if I did, it would be perfect. Spectre's also the most impactful there as well. I think if we go take a look at her win rate, I don't think it was that too terribly high. I mean, actually, highest win rate of all time. Yeah, her win rate is like, what's it, 10th or so? 11th out of like 200 or 120 heroes or something like that. It's actually pretty good. But her impact is pretty strong, as you guys can see. Necrophos, he's up there as well. And then the main people to focus on this, specifically this patch, are Necrophos, Brewmaster, and Medusa. Those are significant ones. Oh, Viper too. Those are significant ones that we see towards the top of that list. And the reason why I'm trying to highlight all this is because if we do see some nerfs, if we do see some buffs to certain heroes, it might just be because like they get picked and banned so terribly much that basically Ice Frog is like, hey, these guys have something that's broken about them, so let me go ahead and nerf this. And to move into the most impact per patch, you can see a little bit more or less of the same. Ricky's a little bit higher than he was on the other one. Actually, no, Ricky's in the same exact spot. Never mind. I didn't see him there. Get it? In before Ricky jokes. And of course, most impact of all time, Phantom Lancer is still at the top of that, which is actually quite significant because a lot of the nerfs that we recently saw with Phantom Lancer basically put him into crap tier. Not necessarily crap tier, but people don't really play him, specifically in tournament play because he's not in the Captus mode just yet. So Phantom Lancer being up there that high is actually pretty scary. That just shows you how powerful he was before, of course, the nerfs came. And of course, we don't see him anywhere in sight within these last two listings that we see most impact of all time. So Phantom Lancer had a huge impact in the game. He still had he had a huge enough impact to make him still relevant this long after the nerfs. But let's not analyze that too much because we got to go ahead and analyze some patch notes. So let us go ahead and get into that part because that's the part we are here for. So I hope you guys enjoyed all the background stuff, and also I hope you guys enjoyed all the background noise, which you guys probably can't hear. There we go. Let's turn it up just a little bit. And let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Spotify. You guys can see that. That's production value. Heck yeah. Alright, so let me go and hide that window. And let's get into the meat and potatoes of this whole entire thing. And let's go and start talking about this patch. So like I said, I have not looked through the patch notes, so I actually don't know what's going to be in these patch notes. I just read like very briefly, like the very top part. This is the Shifting Snows update, by the way. But I just read very briefly on the top part. It says gameplay update. This point 6.8.3, which is going to be significant. It also mentions that there's the balance has been shifted and so small changes done here or there. I'm not too entirely sure what to interpret from that. All I do know is that I do expect to see I done broke it. Give me a second. Oh man, properties. All I do know is I do expect to see some maybe some nerfs or some people get addressed like Brewmaster, because I think Brewmaster was picked / banned too entirely much for people to be too terrible, like for it to be a comfortable thing for it to not be, you know, touched on or something like that. So I think we're probably going to see some things happen to Brewmaster. I'm not too entirely sure what we'll see, but we'll see something. That's just basically because he was pretty much banned / picked every single game. It was pretty crazy. And we also see a winter map update, so cool. Winter's grip has tightened on the map, causing river to ice over, sweet, and deepening the deepening snow saddles from the past, blah blah. So cool aesthetics, things going on in the going on the maps. That's pretty cool. Also, we got some Christmas lights everywhere and some candles. And speaking of things that are looking really cool, the Fantasy Dota 2 Season Champions teleport. I thought this was really cool. I thought this was really awesome. And then I remembered that I wasn't involved in the Fantasy Dota 2 season or Fantasy Season 2 Dota. Dota 2 Season 2 of Fantasy Dota. So then I realized that I wasn't actually going to be like getting any of these rewards, but the thought is still there. So I actually like the fact that we see all this. And let me turn my music up just a little bit more, because we can't enjoy those awesome Dota 2 musics with me talking so loudly. Oh, listen, this is beautiful. Isn't it beautiful? Anyway, moving on. New to the Dota store, we got some treasures and Frosted Flames. Cool. It's a new treasure chest. We also have treasure of the Nested Cache, which looks really cool. And we also got an Efiggy block of Frost, which means that we're going to see a lot more Efiggy stuff. I couldn't really say I didn't see this coming, because when they released an original Efiggies, basically I was like, oh, okay, so he's going to sell us more colors and stuff. So we'll probably see like some molten stuff or some cool stuff like that. But it's going to add some nice variety to it, so I actually like that. We can also gift wrap our things. So that's cool. Alright, moving on to the fun part, the gameplay update, because that's what I'm concerned about right now. General ranked all pick initial planning phase reduced from 40 seconds to 30 seconds. Okay, interesting. I didn't play a lot of ranked all pick, so I couldn't tell you too terribly much. What this actually means, I think it just means that the games go a lot faster and it's a little bit less time to counter pick. Meanwhile, we see this patch note, which I think is quite significant here. First rune spawns are now both bounty runes that are twice as effective. Instead of 50 gold and XP, or from 50 gold and XP to 100 gold and XP. So that's going to be a pretty cool thing to see. Basically it means that those earlier levels can come a little bit faster, like a slight bit faster. It's going to be a little bit more aggressive to actually try to get those runes in the earlier parts of the stage. It's also going to be a little bit less sporadic, I guess, in the starting game, because you know for a fact that there's always going to be a bounty rune there, and you know that there's not going to be an illusion rune or invis rune or a haste rune that can get the supports on the other side an easy setup for a first blood. So it's going to be cool to see that kind of balance things out. So that way, like, you know, the first 2 minutes it's not necessarily too terribly aggressive, and it's not necessarily too terribly boring, because you're still going to see those fights, because it's like, oh, we want that extra XP, but it's going to be a little bit less volatile, I guess, to say the least. Next part, it says all illusion runes now deal 25% less damage to structures. I didn't realize they were doing, I mean, they probably didn't do that much damage anyway, but I guess illusion runes for tiny were too powerful. So that's the only logic I can throw at that one. Moving over, melee and range barracks bounty reduced from 352 to 370 to 100 and 150. I didn't realize they gave that much gold. Holy crap! Yeah, melee and range barracks gave you a lot of gold. Like, honestly, I didn't realize that they gave you that much gold, but that is a huge drop. That basically means that if you are pushing them pretty hard, you're not going to be able to have that snowball type play where basically you just, like, you know, kill the enemy team and then you kill like a middle tower, middle Raxus, and then you just have like so much gold, you just buy yourself something luxurious. Instead, you have to, you know, kill that mid tower and then you kill like the Raxus, and then you don't have that much more gold than your enemy does. So it still gives your enemy team a little bit more time to actually come up and actually come up and fight back. So I actually do kind of like that change. It makes games a little bit more competitive after you lose your racks. Moving to the melee racks, melee and range barracks now give 125 and 75 gold to each player respectively. Okay. Don't know what to say. I mean, just gives 125 to the person who killed it and 75 to or gold to each player respectively. Okay, so that means a little bit more reliable, I guess. Like I said, I never paid much attention to how the melee and range Raxus actually got their gold through people, but I'm just assuming that just basically balances it out. But it just gives you, like, if you get the last one on the Rax, you get more gold. That's the only interpretation I can get from that one. Moving over, ward locations to the right of the Roshan is now pathable. Trying to think. To the right of Roshan. To the right of the Roshan. Okay, I mean, it's interesting. Like there's some high ground ward spots. I know there's 2 spots that are high ground up there. If I'm thinking correctly, what they're talking about, basically, I actually had a game recently too. But basically, there's like the ward spot on the outside of Roshan pit, like towards the rune. That ward spot, you can place a ward there, but I'm assuming that means it's pathable in the sense that you can run over there from the dire side and actually get to it and drop a ward and run away. I'm not too entirely sure if that's exactly what it means, but if that is what it means, that's kind of cool, because that means you can do some nice little cliff harass while somebody's trying to go for runes, or maybe get yourself an easy ward. I have to, of course, see it. I can't visualize that too terribly well. Moving on to the next part. Fixed a ward location near the dire ancient that could not be easily seen. I don't know where that spot was, but they fixed it, so clearly I will never know what that spot is. Moving over, Ancient Granite Golem health reduced from 2,000 to 1,700. Okay, that's cool. And Ancient Granite Golem now has an aura which grants 15% bonus health to its allies. Oh, interesting. I'm thinking more so in the sense of Chen. Chen, as far as getting an axe, it's gonna help Chen do something with the Ancient Golem. I do know that when Chen got the Axe upgrade, a lot of people were complaining, basically saying that Chen doesn't really have any Ancients to steal. Like, a lot of people, like, very stupidly go pick up the dragon and, like, say, "Oh, I got splash damage on a creep." It's like not that great. But instead, the ancient dinosaur, whatever they were, the dinosaur ramparts, whatever crap they call them, those ones were probably the most valuable ones to actually get. So that one was one that a lot of people did probably end up getting, but this is actually nice. This gives Chen another solution to go for that creep, and then just give somebody like a carry Tiny who has a heart already just like a crap ton of extra damage and a crap ton of extra HP. Well, more so HP than damage. So that's actually kind of cool. Makes Chen Ags a little bit more reliable. Moving over to the private lobby games, now use Captives mode creep spawner or spawn timer. when an all pick. Okay, so that means the creep spawn faster? I didn't realize there was a difference. I did not realize there was a difference in the creep spawn timer. This is a few technical things that I didn't actually pay attention to, so I guess that's kind of cool. They balance everything out. Moving over to the next part, maximum attack speed increased from 500 to 600. Primary impact of this is on abilities like Wind Ranger's Focus Fire and Ursa's Overpower. The following abilities no longer have restrictions when cast on spell immune allies. What? Okay. When cast on spell immune allies, Kunka's X mark a spot, Magnus's Empower, Trinit's Protective's Living Armor, and Warlock's Shadow Word. The following abilities no longer have restrictions when cast on spell immune allies. Not too entirely sure if I can interpret what that means, but we'll probably see here in a few seconds once we start actually getting to the heroes. The tooltips for Vanguard, Stealth Shield, Poor Man's Shield, and Crimson Guard now reflect the internal proc chance instead of their legacy representation. No actual balance change. Okay, so this is a cool thing. I do know for a fact that somebody actually proves, mathematically speaking, that a Vanguard actually blocks, instead of blocking like 80% or something like that, or 80% of the time blocking that much damage, it technically blocks like 50% or something like that. Actually no, that was Poor Man's Shield. So I'm assuming that we're going to see some actual numbers reflected by what's actually internally in there. So the Poor Man's Shield, it's marked as 60% chance to block damage from creeps, but it always blocks damage from heroes. And with the change in that, it's basically going to probably reflect like 50% now. So it's going to look a little bit different, but as you guys see right there, no actual balance change. So they didn't actually change any numbers. It just reflects everything properly. Meanwhile, Vision and Fog of War can now be any numerical value rather than specific intervals. Previously 0, 64, 192, 320, 448, 576, 704, 800, 832, 960, 1088, 12, 16. And this is the intervals of 64. Okay, intervals of 64 by the looks of it. And let's see what this actually says. What does this mean? Previously, if you have vision between fixed intervals, it would clamp at a fixed value. Okay. So now that I actually think about it, I actually do recall seeing that sometimes. So basically, when you run in a general area, like if you run from one spot to another, if you just pay attention to your vision's like kind of collapsing and like growing like immediately, as opposed to like over time just spreading, and it kind of gives you an illusion. I mean, the intervals weren't that huge, or I guess relatively speaking, the intervals were quite huge. So with the 64 interval, that meant that it would jump from 0 to 64 if it was like anywhere in between, I guess. Or once it went over to 64, it actually just jumped 64. So that means you had like the whole entire range from 0 to 43 you actually didn't see, which could have probably changed the way you died or changed the way you lived. So I guess it's going to have some impact. It's going to have a very slight impact. So I don't see that being like a huge, gigantic thing. But it's a nice little cool thing for them to mention. Moving on to the heroes, because this is what we're interested in. Abaddon, borrowed time duration increased guys, from 3, 4, 5 to 4, 5, 6. I'm a little bit curious now because if I recall correctly, Abaddon's ulti with the Aghanim Scepter changes ulti to 7 seconds at max level. So that means if you get an Ags now, then his borrowed time does 1 second more of duration. I'm not sure it's going to encourage people to buy more Ags on Abaddon. Like I'm pretty sure that's not what the buff is for. Pretty sure the buff is just to make sure that support Abaddon, or just Abaddon in general can have a fun time using his ulti at level 16 instead of a crappy 5 seconds. But as a person who sees a few games be played with Abaddon, I generally speaking don't see Abaddon get an Ags anyway. So I don't think a lot of people are encouraged to buy Ags in the first place. Moving to Alchemist, Grievous Greed base gold increased from 4, 6, 8, 10 to 6, 8, 10, 12. That's going to be great. I wonder if they increase cap. We'll see. Grievous Greed extra bonus gold per stack from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 3, so it's going to be great at earlier levels. Grievous Greed max bonus gold from 30 to 12, 20, 28, 36. Interesting. So that's going to nerf it a little bit. I guess it's just to balance out the extra bonus gold that you get from here. So it seems like it's kind of rewarding. Like if you just get a few last hits, then you back away, so it's going to give you the most maximum benefit, because it's probably not worth you continue to get last hits consistent. Like you can afford. I would assume that at this point you can afford to go ahead and just miss a stack on Grievous Greed. But I'm not that great at last hitting, so I don't think I'm the best person to ask about that one. So I just kind of watch people do it, and I see they get 36 gold from Middle Nowhere. or sorry, 30 gold from the middle of nowhere, just max out and keep it going. Meanwhile, the last one says Grievel's Greed recent kill window duration increased from 25 to 30. Okay, okay. Don't really know what to think about this one, outside of maybe it just makes it looks like it just makes Grievel's Greed a lot more better at earlier levels. Earlier levels having the gold go from go at 1 per stack, and then it like caps out at 12. Or sorry, caps out at 30. I mean, it takes you forever to actually build up to. But as the gold continues to balance out, I mean, like you get 3 gold and then it caps at 12, which I think is a nice little balance to it. So it probably shouldn't affect people like me who can't last hit anyway. But it will most definitely, I guess, play a little bit more in the minds of like the higher level players who can actually get last hits pretty much on demand, and it might help them be a little bit more aggressive in lane. Like I don't really know how this is really going to affect the scene too terribly much, but I do know that they changed something because they said it. And that's how Cool Blue rolls. Anyway, moving on with my unprofessional analysis. Axis Battle Hunger duration from 10, 12, 14 to 16 to 10. I think them for that debuff or for that nerf, because that freaking Battle Hunger lasts forever when he hasn't maxed out, and if you max it out early, it does quite a bit of damage. Meanwhile, Battle Hunger damage from 15, 20, 25, 32, 16, 24, 32, 40, so it probably does the same amount of damage at, said total damage from, okay, cool, so the total damage got increased, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with that. That means it deals damage faster, so that's good. It means that Axe has to spend less time just walking around in circles while you die slowly from Battle Hunger. But looks like, ooh, they changed the cast range. Oh my gosh, thank you! Battle Hunger cast range from 900 to 750. Fantastic, I love that. I hate the fact that Battle Hunger has such a long range. Axe just basically walk up to like, you know, halfway between the tower, or sorry, between the middle of the lane and the tower, and just like throw Battle Hunger and walk away. It's like, you mad, bro? It's like, yes, I am very mad. I'm very, very, very hungry for battle now. So I actually like that. I actually like that nerf. I actually think it's necessary, especially considering that he gets more damage technically. And now I'm actually a little bit concerned about Axis who decided to max out Battle Hunger, because like it doesn't seem to actually do a lot until you get to level 3. And 3 points of Battle Hunger means that you don't have that many points inside of your taunt. And I guess, I mean, realistically speaking, if you're building an axe, you're only gonna have one or the other. You're gonna have taunt and spin, or you're gonna have spin plus Battle Hunger. You're generally speaking not gonna have both, because you don't have the mana to sustain that unless you buy Soul Ring and get some Arcane Boost or something crazy like that. But yeah, I'm actually okay with this. I actually don't like Axe. I mean, I like Axe, but I don't like facing against Axe because it's so annoying. Like, he seems to always get a spin when he's coming towards me. Anyway, Battle Hunger movement movement and slow from 10% to 12%. I guess risk and reward. It gives Axe a little bit more of a benefit since it is a little bit lower. And now, speaking of being a little bit lower, holy crap, Battle Hunger mana cost from 75, 85, 95, 105 to 75. Are you kidding me? Alright, so what this basically means is that Axe got a huge buff right now. Like, despite the nerf in the range, I mean, the range is actually a decent nerf, but considering that he get this benefit of it only costing 75 mana is actually a huge deal. Axe, like I said, he can't necessarily sustain Battle Hunger and Taunt, but with this specific buff to his Battle Hunger and also slight nerfs, he can pretty much sustain both of those. Like, a single Soul Ring will probably sustain him well enough to actually use Battle Hunger and Taunt. So he can Battle Hunger people over time, and then he just walk in for a nice little taunt, and then maybe drop his ulti at the end of it. So basically, his Battle Hunger equals the cost of his ulti at level 1, which means that he has to choose between Battle Hunger and ulti, and probably he's going to choose ulti. But still, the point is that Battle Hunger got a little bit better. And moving on to Bane, Nightmare cooldown from 15 seconds to 16, 15, 14, 13. So Bane's going to be a lot more annoying in the later stages, but earlier stages he's going to be a little bit less annoying, so I actually like that one. Beastmaster, Call of the Wild now always provides a hawk and a boar at each level, and each now scales per level. Okay. If I recall correctly, you can level one over the other. If I recall correctly, I'm not too entirely sure how they changed it last time around, but I do know they made them separate things where you can cast both of them. But it looks like, yeah, I'm not, hold on, let me go ahead and continue reading this. Hawk health from 50, 50, 100, 100 to 40, 60, 80, 100. That's nice scaling, so that's actually, relatively speaking, logical scaling. Hawk move speed from 270, 270, 400, 400 to 250, 300, 350, 400, so it takes a little bit longer for it to get a little bit faster. Hawk Day Sight from 500, 500, 1600, 1600 to 700, 1000, 1300, and 1600. So he has the same vision at max level, but it looks like he progressively gets better as he goes through instead of just, you know, immediately jumping from there. And, I would assume that a lot of Beastmasters just put like level 3 on their Hawk and just left it at that, because you don't need more than that. I mean, the extra, well, you don't get anything extra really. I mean, I guess you get the invis, but that's about it. Actually, no, I'm not even sure about that. I think you got the invis at level 2. Anywho, Hawk Night Sight from 500, 500, 1200, 1200 to 700, 800, 900, 1000. Wow, that sucks, bro. Sucks to be you, bro. You will not fly anymore. So night vision got nerfed. Just basically make sure that Beastmaster doesn't have as much fun. Boar health from Boar health from 0, 400, 400, 500 to 200, 300, 400, 500. Okay. So I see. So I guess putting a point gives you one of each, but the level 1 boar is going to be a lot weaker. And a boar base damage from 0, 26, 26, 46 to 15, 30, 45, 60. These guys love their numbers counting up in logical ways, man. Jeez. Meanwhile, the boar base attack time from 0 to 1.5 to 1.5 to 1. Wow, it had a 1 attack time? Are you kidding me? To 1.25. Okay. To put all that into perspective, guys, 1.5 attack time is just 0.05 slower than Anti-Mage's attack time. So basically, if you get a lot of attack speed auras for your board is just attacking like a machine gun. So I didn't realize that the boar actually got to 1 attack speed, which is actually 1 base attack time, which is actually a quite ridiculous thing. Also FYI, 1 base attack time is the lowest that you can get into Dota. Alchemist is the one who can get to that, and that's with his ulti Chemical Rage. So the simple fact that the boar had that turned on pretty much all the time means that Beastmaster with AC plus Call of the Wild, plus Inner Beast, plus a few other attack speed auras that you might be able to get with other heroes, means that that boar was attacking fast as crap. I did not realize he was attacking that fast. Of course, the damage caps out at 60, but still, or capped out at 46. But the slow, I think, was the more significant thing about the board. And speaking of the board, the slow, it also has a nice little scaling effect to it as well. So, board poison slow from 0, 20, 30, 20, 35 to 10, 20, 30, 40. So that means the board's gonna be a lot stronger at the earlier levels. Of course, its attacks we got nerfed a little bit, but I mean, you don't really need the poison to be stacked that many times. Just like use it on him, just keep it on him. That's all he needs. So cool. Cool to see consistency. Good job, Ice Rock. Meanwhile, moving to Bloodseeker. Man, I feel like I've talked a whole bunch, but I haven't made it that far. Moving to Bloodseeker. Blood Range no longer amplifies outgoing damage if the damage has no reflection flag. Oh, has the no reflection flag. Okay, that makes sense. Because I do know there was a way to get like maximum damage. I actually just recently watched this video too, where basically somebody just took Phantom Assassin and they just got the maximum possible damage you can get. And the way they did it was they put Blood Rage like in the logical game, in the sense that they didn't like just put 10 Blood Rages on Phantom Assassin stacks or somehow. But they put Blood Rage on Phantom Assassin, they put Blood Rage on somebody else that she was attacking, or Slaughter with Sprint, and then they put the negative armor from Slaughter's Cloud that Rubik stole from him, and then they also put Dazzle's ultimate for the negative armor. Rubik stole Dazzle's ultimate and used it on Slaughter as well to give him more negative armor. Basically, just gave Slaughter a negative 80 or negative something crazy, negative something armor like that. And also he takes bonus damage because of Sprint. He takes bonus damage because he got Blood Rage, and Phantom Assassin got Blood Rage too. And he used a Blade Mail too to reflect everything. So what happened was like Phantom Assassin just basically right-clicked him once, and all the damage got reflected, and she actually died from it. But it showed the damage being like 2. It was like something crazy ridiculous. It was like because Phantom Assassin's damage was amplified, and Slaughter's damage was amplified, reflecting back because he took more damage because of the Blood Rage and also because of the Sprint, and basically reflected it all back, and it was like a crazy amount of damage. It was like 22,000 damage done in like just one right-click. It was ridiculous. I actually forgot the actual number. Actually, no, it was higher than that. It was like 225,000 or something like that. It was ridiculous. So basically that means that Blood Rage no longer amplifies that, so that will no longer happen, which is good. And let me see if that was true. This is similar to how Blade Mail, Spike Carapace, Fatal Bonds, etc. works. Cool. I'm assuming that what I just said made sense because I spent a lot of time explaining it. But anyway, that's it for that one. Moving on to Bounty Hunter. Track bonus gold for self increased from 150, 200, 250 to 200, 275 to 350. Fantastic. That's great. And track cooldown reduced. Holy crap, from 10.75 to 4. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm gonna play Bounty Hunter more. Basically what that means is that track is gonna be a little bit more powerful. Having a 10-second cooldown, I think basically what they're doing is they're basically over time making Bounty Hunter a little bit better than he used to be. Or sorry, a little bit better back to where he kind of was before. I do think that nerfed him a little bit harder than a lot of other people, but probably because a lot of people kept playing the crap out of Bounty Hunter initially. But he used to get negative armor on his ulti, which I thought was cool. I didn't think it was that big of a deal until I saw like some pros play, and it's like they were just wrecking people with Slaughter Bounty or something like that. And also Bounty Hunter used to build up Medallion of Courage just because of that. But what they're doing is they're trying to build him back up, Bounty Hunter that is, back up to that point, to where he can actually become a little bit more viable in tournament play, which I think he still is. But with the 4-second cooldown on track, that basically means that he can track an assassin, Ricky, and like somebody else, and then kill everybody in the next team fight. And considering that track lasts for a whole entire 30 seconds, he should be able to theoretically track the entire team without any issue. Track with a 10-second cooldown means that he can only track 3 people at max, and that's like best case scenario. He can track 3 people max. I mean, if he gets a refresher at level 6, he can like track 4 people, but that's not logical at all. Especially for track with a 10-second cooldown. But this means that Bounty Hunter is going to be a lot more dangerous in the early stages of the game, and I do expect to see him get played a little bit more, and I do also expect to see him roam a lot and just basically track the crap out of everybody just because he can. Also, we might see the return of Drum Bottle Phase Boots Bounty Hunter, which I think is a typical build anyway, but I like drums on Bounty. Some people like to just go ahead and go drums Deso, but depends on who you're playing. Depends on what you're playing against too. Meanwhile, Brewmaster, base armor reduced from 4 to 2, Thunderclap slow duration duration from 4.25 to 4, and Thunderclap cooldown from 12 to 13. So just some very minor things. The main thing is that he has a base armor reduction, which means that he's not as tanky with air quotes as he used to be. Just to give you guys some perspective as to what armor does for you in the earlier levels, is that let's say someone like a Necrophos who has a whole entire 2 armor, and actually somebody was describing this too, which is why I'm like totally leeching off them. But Necrophos, which I think he has a base 2 armor, if he goes into a lane by himself and he takes right click from some supports that do like 46 damage or something like that, he's going to take a decent amount of damage over time. 2 armor, pretty much every 1 point of armor reduces damage by 6%. So 2 armor means that he's reducing incoming damage by 12%, which for a support who's hitting for 46, they're basically only hitting for like what? That means they're hitting for 30, not even 30, like 40, 42 instead of 46. So it's not that significant drop in damage, not that significant of a drop in damage, that is. But with, like, say, double Ring of Protections, which gives you 6 armor total, plus your base armor, so that's 8 armor to Necrophos. That's basically 8 times 6, which is more math, because Kublai likes to do math for some reason, but that's like 42. That basically means the support essentially hits you for half the damage that they used to hit you. And that's actually a huge deal as far as you being able to survive in the lane, especially when the right clicks are just coming at you because you're trying to get your own right clicks. Consider that with other things like, Sadist and stuff, you'll be able to survive your lane. Anyway, that's our explanation for all that and the double Ring of Basilius, or sorry, double Ring of Protections that you guys might have seen. With all this said and done though, Thunderclap, Brewmaster's base armor being reduced from 4 to 2 is actually quite significant. That means he's going to take 50% more incoming damage at the earlier levels. And considering that all the games I've seen of Brewmaster, of how close he's come to death, and then happen to get first blood and then walk away alive because he just juked everything with his nice little evasion, tells me that maybe he won't be as survivable as before, and he's a lot more vulnerable now. So that's actually quite a significant drop, at least for his early game. Late game probably won't matter too much. Anyway, moving on, because I talked enough about that one. Bristleback Quill Spray damage increased from 30 to 30, 32, 34, 36, which, oh man, okay. That's a significant amount of damage, guys. Keep in mind, this is a Quill Spray damage stack, or Quill Spray stacked damage. The stack damage used to be just 30, so basically if you use Quill Spray on once, you do 30 damage. And if you do Quill Spray twice, you do 30 damage plus another 30, because it's 2 stacks. If you do Quill Spray again, you do a 30, and I think it's exponential. No, it's not exponential. It can't be exponential. That'd be crazy. But it's like you do your original 30, or so you do your 30 initial damage, and you do a 30 plus every stack, so 30 times 3 stacks now. And so I think it's like 90 damage, which it grows over time. So it gets like a lot more damage as you Quill Spray. So over time, I don't know what it is mathematically speaking, because I don't have the time to do the math. I didn't whole entire thing, but if I did, I would say it's probably increase overall, and like maybe he'll do like 20% more damage with Quill Sprays, which is actually a significant amount of damage, especially when you get to the higher parts of like somebody with like 9 or 10 stacks. Anyway, Broodmother's Spiderling's Day Vision reduced from 1400 to 1100. Cool. Chaos Knight Reality Rift damage increased from 25, 50, 75, 100 to 60, 80, 100, 120. Are you kidding me? Reality Rift mana cost reduced. Oh my gosh! Reality Rift mana cost reduced from 75 to 50, and Phantasm Illusion duration increased from 32 to 42. Holy crap, guys! All right. Let's talk about these things one at a time. Basically, Reality Rift increases Chaos Knight's damage by 100 or by 120 when you cast it. That's like a phenomenal amount of damage. That's equivalent to, I think, Viper's maximum Nether Toxin. So basically, for one right click, CK and all of his illusions will hit you for one of Viper's maximum Nether Toxins. Because if I'm not mistaken, Viper's Nether Toxin caps out at 120 bonus damage. So basically, Chaos Knight can get that for free, just like, you know, one ability. And on top of that, Reality Rift costs less mana, so that means that CK is more liable to use it a whole bunch. And on top of that, his Phantasm Illusions, they have a longer duration, which is a little bit worse than what it was before, because I've seen a game where basically Chaos Knight drops his ult to push a tower, so he pushed one tower, and then he continued to use his ult, his Phantasm Illusions, to continue to push another tower and kill that tower too. Granted, that game was pretty much over by the time CK was doing that, but still, the simple fact is the illusions last for a crap ton amount of time, especially relative to Phantom Lancer. Phantom Lancer's illusions used to last for I think like 12 or 15 seconds or something like that, or maybe 16, a long amount of time. CK's illusions last for basically triple that time, according to the math, or somewhere like that, close to that, double the time, yeah, double the time. And now his illusions will last pretty much, you know, what's that, 12 seconds longer? No, 8 seconds longer. No, it's 8. No, it's 8 seconds. 8 seconds longer. So CK is going to be pretty strong as far as pushing things. I don't know if we'll see him as the new push god, but he's going to be pretty. He's going to be pretty annoying to deal with. That's all I got to say, guys. And his illusions will hurt because they do 100% damage. That's, oh man, that's outstanding. Anyway, moving to Chen. Test of Faith now teleports all of your units when you cast on yourself. Oh my gosh, you did it, Reddit! Holy crap! All right. So basically, what happens? Or what happened was that some people on Reddit were basically saying, excuse me, some people on Reddit were basically saying like Chin is really useful sometimes. Actually no, yeah, it's on Reddit. Chin is really useful most of the time, but he's not liable in tournament play because if you TP with Chin, you don't bring your creeps. Like your creeps have to walk all the way across the map. So given the fact that Test of Fate now teleports all of your units to you when you cast on yourself, that's like a fantastic thing. That means that you can just basically mass recall #StarCraft, mass recall all of your units to you and just like basically do some cool baits. I'm just assuming that we're gonna, yeah, maybe it's gonna show this. Has the same delay as when cast on ally hero, so that means you basically cast on yourself, and I'm assuming that if you take damage, then it'll cancel. No, that's Cobble. That's Keeper Light. But it's gonna be cool though. Like that means that Chen's gonna be the ganking master again, guys. We're gonna see Smoke in his seat and to cast like, you know, Smoke in his seat, run to the side shop, cast Test of Faith on yourself, and just like show up with like a Satar and like a freaking Hellbear Smasher and like a Wild Cannon, just like wreck people's face. I'm just excited. I can't wait to see that. Like my words can't come up fast enough. I'm excited to see Chen be played a little bit more. Now, Holy Persuasion maximum units increased. Wow. Increased by 1 at max level. So basically every level it gives you 1 additional unit, which is cool. Like I said, guys, the ancient creep. Just imagine the ancient granite golem plus all the other creeps. Oh, man, it's gonna be so gross. Clink's base attack range increased. Oh man, 600 to 630. Clinks is officially the person who can attack the furthest, guys. Lena's attack range was the longest in the game. Her attack range was 625. Now Clinks has 5 extra range on Lena. So that means that Clinks can be a little bit less risky with his engagements. And also with the recent changes that they did with unit target acquiring, I think last patch, which I kind of glazed over so I didn't pay too terribly much attention to. That means that Clinks is actually going to be quite good as far as picking off people. At the very least, if he can get you on a good angle, he can probably kill you now. Well, with relative ease. So it's going to push him into the late game a little bit further. He's still a very fragile person, so don't forget that. Clockwork battery assault damage increased from 15, 35, 55, 75 to 20, 40, 60, 80. Okay. Because that needed a damage increase. Battery Assault does a crap ton of damage. Like, if you can get all 10 shrapnel rockets off on top of somebody, because it basically shoots out 10 rockets over its duration of, like, you know, what, 12 seconds or something like that, something weird. Basically, you'll do 800 damage at max level instead of 750 damage, which is crazy. Which actually is magical damage, so it's reduced by 25%, so technically, you'll do, like, no, not necessarily 800, but close enough. 75 times 8, whatever that is. Excuse me. Alright, moving on to Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden Crystal Nova attack speed slow from 20 to 30, cool. Frostbite duration from 10 to 10, 9, 8, 7. Oh, Frostbite cooldown, my bad. Frostbite cooldown from 10 to 10.987, that's good. That's gonna be a nice buff for that. That means that she can be a lot more aggressive. She can be a little bit more viable towards the later parts of the game, where she might maybe Frostbite somebody, run away, and then Frostbite somebody else a little bit sooner. Freezing Field duration increased from 7 to 10 seconds, so that's going to be more damage coming out from Freezing Field. Freezing Field explosion radius and slow radius increased by 150, so buffs all around for Crystal Maiden. All you need to do is buff her movement speed. Freezing Field explosion damage radius increased by 50. So that means that she can actually do a crap ton of AoE. So carry Crystal Maiden, guys. It's going to be legit. Just you wait. Just you wait, bro. Meanwhile, Darkseer base armor increased by 1, cool. Vacuum pull duration increased from from 0.4 to 0.5. I guess that makes it a little bit easier to actually get, like, you know, things chained on top of it. It gives it a little bit more time, and also it stuns, technically speaking, stuns the enemy for a little bit longer. Just, you know, like 0.1 second longer, which I guess can make the difference, but I'm not too terribly sure if that's going to make him, like, you know, super powerful or OP or anything like that. Like he used to be with his freaking vacuum during Song of Siren. Meanwhile, Dazzle, base attack range increased from 500 to 550. Why does Dazzle need attack range increase? Why? I don't understand. Dazzle has probably one of the best attack animations in the game, and he gets an attack range increase? Are you kidding me? Do you know how bad my ability draft game is going to be now, guys, if I don't get Dazzle? Anyway, so that happened. Death Prophet strength growth reduced from 2.2 to 1.9, so nerf to Death Prophet. She basically has crappy stat gains all around now. I know her intelligence gain is decent. It's like 3 or something like that. But Death Prophet's agility gain is really bad. How do I know? Because I tried to play Death Prophet with like Clinks's Searing Flames or Searing Arrows, and she attacked, like, you know, half as fast as she should have. It was very disappointing. So anyway, that happened. But anyway, the main thing is that Death Prophet is going to be a little bit weaker towards the later stages of the game. That's a whole entire 0.3 over time. So she has 24 levels to gain. So 0.3 times 24 is actually some more math that I'm not going to do on the own stream because I don't feel like doing the math that hard. Moving to Disruptor. Glimpse mana cost rescaled from 160, 130, 100 to 70 to 100. I agree with that. Glimpse in ability draft is powerful because you basically just get maxed out and you have a very low cooldown, and on top of that, you have yourself a very cheap ability to use. On the flip side, Glimpse cooldown reduced from 65 seconds, 55 seconds, 35 seconds to 20 seconds to 60 seconds, 46 seconds, 32 seconds, and 18 seconds. Some weird scaling there, but at the very least, it's a little bit more consistent in the sense that it makes it a little bit better since you're paying more mana for it at max level, so that's kind of cool. Kinetic Field cooldown reduced from 14, 13, 12, 11 to 13, 12, 11, 10. That makes him a lot more aggressive, and I think that puts him on par with his cooldown. Okay, never mind. That's why I said puts him on par with his cooldown from his Glimpse, but not really. It's like 8 seconds difference. Static Storm cooldown reduced. Oh, sorry, Static Storm cooldown. Yeah, reduced from 85 seconds flat to 90 seconds, 85, and 70. That's gonna make him a lot more powerful towards the later stages of the game, and also means that when he gets ags, it's gonna be a lot more annoying. So, congratulations, you're gonna see a lot of Disruptors played, probably. Just saying. Dragonite Outer Dragon level form level 3 now maintains Corrosive Breath abilities from 1 and 2. I was not aware that he lost that. I thought they changed that last patch. Basically how Dragonite's transition came through, if anybody needs a reminder, because you guys probably don't. But Dragonite level 1, he had Corrosive Breath, which basically meant that it like did damage over time, like, you know, something weird, like 42 damage for 2 seconds, which is actually good versus towers because it actually affected towers, which is cool. But his level 2 Dragon Form basically gave him splash damage, and his level 3 Dragon Form gave him splash damage, plus it gave him essentially a Scotty, a weaker version of a Scotty in AoE, so it's actually really nice. So what they did in the last patch is I thought they changed Corrosive Breath across all of the boards, across all the levels of the ulti, but apparently they only changed it to the level 2 ulti, which made it more viable to get it. And now it's going to be on to the level 3 ulti, which means that Dragonite, once he's level 16, he's going to be carrying a little bit harder than he was before. I don't think Corrosive Breath is going to change it too terribly much, because I mean it's only like what, a flat 42 or a flat 46 or something like that. So it's not that high amount of damage, but it's actually like, I mean, I guess a 300 damage, sure, but I mean, I didn't foresee that being a thing that he really needed. I think Dragonite just kind of Dragonite suffers a lot from like not really carrying too terribly hard until he's level 16, which is actually a bad thing a lot of times in the game. But if you can survive that long, Dragonite just comes in, pays in spades as far as being a carry. Sadly, he doesn't carry as hard as like a Faceless Void or Medusa, but still, he tries. Moving on to Draw Ranger, illusions now benefit from marksmanship bonus. Illusions will still lose bonus if enemies nearby. Okay, cool. So more attack speed for the illusions. I did not realize that illusions lost or were not affected by the marksmanship bonus, but apparently they were not affected. Earth Spirit Rolling Boulder no longer reduces attack speed by 50 or by 80 for 2 seconds. Rolling Boulder no longer does additional 45 damage when used with a Stone Remnant. Rolling Boulder damage base damage increased from 90 to 100. So somebody hates Earth Spirit. I do know Earth Spirit has been doing really well in the pub scene. I don't know how high he was on that percentage chart as far as win rate, but I do know I've seen some very impressive Earth Spirit games, and I do know in preparation to get Earth Spirit into Captain's mode, which I'm assuming that he's still not enabled in Captain's mode. I think they do need these necessary debuffs or necessary nerfs to actually throw on top of them, because it seems like if you saw somebody's attack speed about 80, that's a significant amount. Like basically, Enchantress is untouchable, reduces your attack speed by 140, or used to reduce it by 140. They actually recently buffed that. I actually do remember that one being said, but it reduces your attack speed by 140 or 120, and you guys know how slow you attack when she does that. So basically, Earth Spirit being able to get that for free with a Rolling Boulder, which has an 8-second cooldown, which is ridiculous. So especially if it lasts for 2 seconds, that's actually quite ridiculous. So I guess that's what they're saying, like, to balance them out a little bit. So that would be my logic on that specific patch note. Speaking of patch notes, move on. Enchanted Totem mana cost reduced. Holy crap! From 50 to 20, 30, 40, 50. Cool. So there's some nice scaling for Enchanted Totem, which means that Enchanted Totem is officially buffed for ability draft. Like I don't foresee Earthshaker actually using it a whole bunch in like actual matches. Maybe he'll just leave it at level 1 permanently now because it costs 20 mana. So we'll probably never see Earthshaker actually max that out. Like I would not be surprised if we saw some professional matches or pro matches where basically Earthshaker has like 4 skill points never spent or 3 skill points never spent because he's want to have the 20 mana for his Enchanted Totem. So it's actually really cool. That means that gives Earthshaker another option because his fissure gives him a nice stun, sure, but it's all about that aftershock when you use that Enchanted Totem, and you just want to use Enchanted Totem to proc that. And if it costs 50 mana every single time, I mean, relative to what it used to cost, it's basically a reduction in what, 60%? No, wait, double number. Hold on. That's a reduction. Yeah, that's a reduction of 60% of the mana cost. So that's actually gonna be really good at max level. Or sorry, when Earthshaker has max aftershock, which is great. Like I said, you usually use Enchanted Totem to actually proc aftershock. You don't really use it for damage unless you're playing ability draft, which in that case you max out Enchanted Totem so you can do more damage with a crit, and then plus someone gives you Kunka splash damage, and they also give you crit from PA because they're idiots. Anyway, let's not talk about me and my bad experiences, guys. Moving over to Elder Titan, we see Astral Spirit damage reduced from 60, 100, 140, and 180 to 60, 90, 120, 150. So nice nerf to Elder Titan's Astral Spirit. That Astral will not be doing as much damage as before. Fix a few cases where Elder Titan could move his Astral Spirit while casting Echo Stomp. Okay, didn't realize that was going on. Alright, moving on to Enchantress. Base movement speed increased from 315 to 335. So she's officially the fastest person moving in the game, guys. Woohoo! Luna is no longer the fastest. I think Luna moved at 330. Creeps moved at 325. Now Enchantress moves at 335. So she's literally a range creep. Joking, guys. Moving to Faces Void. Time Walk no longer slows attack speed. Okay, that's good. Chronosphere cooldown increased from 130, 110 to 90. Alright, 90 to 130, 115, 100. That's a huge nerf in the later parts of the game, especially since you want to get an Agnes Scepter. And the last one says ward unit types no longer able to attack while inside the Chronosphere. Oh my gosh! Suck it, Witch Doctor! So basically, one combination was actually really strong versus Face of Void and also with Face of Void, and I actually talked about this a lot of times, was that basically what Face of Void, or what could happen is basically Face of Void pops Chrono, and Witch Doctor on the enemy side throws his ulti inside of the Chronosphere and forces Face of Void out. Like Face of Void either stays in there, takes all the damage, which is a crap ton of damage, and then dies, or runs away, wastes his time in the Chronosphere. Given the simple fact that ward unit types no longer are able to attack inside Chronosphere, that's a direct nerf to Witch Doctor Faces Void combinations, or Witch Doctor versus Face of Void combinations. Also, alternatively, Shadow Shaman. He's also nerfed because of that as well, because his Surfer Wards are wards. They have ward in the name. And also to Venomancer, his Plague Wards are wards, go figure, which have ward in their name. So it's basically going to be annoying for all those people all said around the corner. But the main thing is that the Witch Doctor Faceless Void combination, where basically Faceless Void gets a chrono on like 4 people, Witch Doctor drops his ult and does all the work, and then Faceless Void walks away laughing as he just says, "I'm won this game. I'm helping." We're not gonna say that anymore. So that's I actually love the fact that they were paying attention enough to actually nerf that or get rid of that, because that was one of the most annoying things to actually commentate sometimes. It's like, oh, Faceless Void, Witch Doctor. What's new? Moving on to Gyrocopter. Call down area effect increase from 450 to 600. More AoE for that. That's going to be great. That's going to make it actually a good thing. Call down missile 1 slow amount reduced from 50% to 30%. And call down missile 2 slow amount increased from 20% to 60%. Force staff can now be used on homing missile. What? Okay, Force staff can now be used on homing missile, guys. So, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking magic gyro is a legit thing. Like, screw getting all this, attack damage and satanics and BS like that. Let's just go ahead and get a 4-staff Dagon and a Veil of Discord on Gyrocopter. Like, that's what this is telling me right now. 4-staff Dagon, Veil of Discord Gyrocopter is legit. Because you can basically drop your missile, and then like somebody's like, oh no, a missile, you 4-staff it towards them to move a lot faster, it hits them in the face, and then you just rocket barrage them with the Veil of Discord, rocket barrage, call down. It's it's just so stupid. Anyway, so Gyrocopter is going to be fun to watch. Moving to Huskar, Inner Vitality base health regen from 2, 4, 6, 8 to 10 flat, so that's going to be good. I didn't realize that it scaled so crappily, but it looks like it's going to be scaling pretty well now. Inner Vitality regeneration bonus when hurt from 30%, 45%, 60%, 75% to 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%. So lower at the lower levels, or not as much as the low levels. Pretty darn good at the higher levels. 80% of your max or of your primary status regen is going to be great, especially for someone like Saunter who's been stealing intelligence all over the place. But it's going to be fun to see that come out to the game. IO no longer requires turning to perform any actions. Thank you! She's a freaking ball! I don't understand why Wisp had to like turn her nose to the other side to actually do things. So it looks like Wisp is going to be able to insta-cast all over the place. So Wisp's turn rate is officially 0, guys. Wisp's turn rate is officially 0. That means that we have one of the few people not affected by Sticky Napalm. I don't know if that means that Wisp is a direct counter to Batrider from here on out, but that does mean that Wisp will no longer be affected because she doesn't turn. Like, it says, IO no longer requires turning to perform any... Okay, so perform any actions. Maybe it's a turnaround to, like, move. She acts... Nope, that's an action. See, based on your interpretation, this means that Wisp is actually a lot powerful versus Batrider, which is actually kind of cool to see, because she can just basically, or he or it, can basically just tether to whoever the heck he wants, or just, say Batrider throws, like, 5 Sticky Napalm stacks, Wisp is like... Not affecting me, bro. I don't turn. Let's do this. I'm just gliding over here. So it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool to see that when you get to when you get Wisp in the higher level plays, which I think this patch is officially effective. So we're probably gonna be seeing this now. So I'm probably gonna watch a Dota match and watch it happen. Moving over to Chikiro. Look of fire damage reduced. Thank you, Dota. Thank you, Dota gods. Liquid fire damage reduced from 15, 20, 25, 30 to 12, 16, 20, 24. Liquid fire, probably one of the most broken abilities in ability draft. You basically get liquid fire plus some other pushing tool, like maybe Treants from Niche Prophet, and you can just rip down whatever tower you want. Like, it doesn't matter if you lose the game really bad. You just like liquid fire at one tower, and then throw Treants at the other, and liquid fire at the other tower again, and throw Treants by the time it comes back up, and like you just killed 2 towers. So Liquid Fire being reduced in damage is actually significantly great for the whole entire community as a whole. Overall, like if I'm not mistaken, Liquid Fire does 5 ticks of damage. So that means 5 ticks of damage at 30. That's basically 30 times 5, which is 150 damage. 24 means, that's 6, so 6 times 5, that's 30 less damage. So instead of hitting for 150, it hits for 120 overall. Which I think is fair. I think it's fair because Liquid Fire is really strong versus towers. Liquid Fire is also really strong for harassing people, especially if you're a melee person in ability draft and you get like 1 free right click and you get a bash, or you get a bash on the first hit. That happened to me once. It was not fun. I regret my decision of not picking Liquid Fire first. But all is said and done though. Liquid Fire as an ability is a really great ability because it costs no mana, it's on a really low cooldown, and it helps you rip down towers. So having a less damage basically means you have to rely a little bit more on actually doing right clicks to the tower, instead of just doing, Liquid Fire, run away, Liquid Fire, run away, Liquid Fire, run away, tower dies. So that's cool. Moving over, Juggernaut, base agility increased. Holy crap, from 20 to 26. That's going to be fantastic. Blade Dance critical strike chance rescaled from 15%, 20%, 25%, 35% to 20%, 25%, 30%, 35%. I'm not too entirely sure how to feel about that. I mean, it seems like you have an extra step now. I guess people just kind of left it at like, you know, level 2 for a long time, and then just after a while just finally put the last 2 points into it. But I guess this encourages people to put more points into it, or maybe just makes it a little bit more powerful at level 3, which actually that looks like it's the case. Yeah, it makes it more powerful at all levels, but it's not that significant in my opinion, because 35% crit strike chance is actually quite significant. So that's cool to see. Juggernaut getting some buffs. Maybe we'll see him in professional play a little bit more. I like Juggernaut plays. He's awesome. Keep it light. Chakra Magic mana cost from 25, 45, 65, 85 to 25, 35, 45, 55. What are you thinking? No, this is going to be crazy. We're going to see Coddle everywhere. Also, the next one, Blinding Light, blind duration increased from 345 to 456. Excuse me, that makes Coddle with the Aghanim Scepter a little bit more powerful. Also, the Chakra Magic mana cost decrease makes Coddle himself less susceptible to being forced to use Chakra Magic on himself, so he can actually use Chakra Magic on his allies later on. So that's going to be great for the higher levels of Coddle. And hopefully we see a lot more Coddle play, because I thought with the Aghanim Scepter upgrade in the last patch, we're going to see a crap ton of Coddle play, but basically nobody played Coddle, because I mean he can only do 2 things. That's push and run. That's pretty much all he can do. He can even push that well. He can just like kill the creeps. He can also heal, I guess. So push and heal. He's a walking fountain. That's pretty much what he became. And it's like, why have a walking fountain where your enemy's going to dive the fountain anyway? Anyway, moving to Kunka. X marks spot. Enemy delay from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 4. Oh my gosh! An ally duration delay from 4 or 2, 4, 6, 8 to 8. Holy crap, guys, this means that Kunka is going to be fantastic with 1 point inside of his X-Mark spot. The only thing you actually get more points in for is just for the range. 550, or sorry, wow, oh my god, never mind, the range is really bad now. Holy crap. X-Mark spot cast range from 500, 650, 800, 950 to 350, 550, 750, and 1000. This is actually a really good balance. Also, the cooldown changed. X-Mark spot cooldown from 14, 13, 12, 11 to 19, 16, 13, 10. And also, X-Mark spot return mana cost reduced from 50. Actually, I didn't realize it costs mana. From 50 to 0. So I didn't realize X-Mark spot return cost you mana to actually cast. I thought it was just kind of like, you know, just you cast ability and sub abilities return, but apparently not, guys. So looks like it doesn't cost you mana to cast return. Cool. So overall, Kunka gonna be a little bit more powerful at the earlier levels. I would expect to see somebody get Kunka. It's going to force people to go ahead and be a little bit more skillful as far as launching their boat plus torrent, because basically with Kunka, original Kunka, or Kunka before this patch, you basically had 2 points at X mark spot and you just pretty much got a guaranteed boat plus torrent combination, but now you have to actually be skillful with launching it. I know for a fact that if I ever play Kunka, I can only play Kunka if I put 2 points at X mark spot, so that way I can actually land my boat plus torrent. But otherwise, I mean, this is going to be a minor buff overall to Kunka with his X mark spot, but I mean with the range decrease, it's just so crappy. I mean, like it's pretty much means you want to cast something yourself to get some last hits and then run away. That's basically what that tells me. But it looks like you have to wait the whole entire 8 seconds, and also you can cast whenever you need to, so that's cool. Anyway, moving over to Leshrac, Diabolical Edict duration increased from 8 to 10 seconds because you need to do more damage with it. Of course, that makes sense. Good job, Ice Frog. Lightning Storm slow duration increased from 0.5 to 0.75. That's going to be significant. And also Lightning Storm cast range increased from 70 to 800, which means that he doesn't have to put himself into as much risk to actually get that casted through. So that's actually going to be kind of cool. Alright, moving over to Lynch. Chain Frost cooldown from 145 seconds, 115 seconds, 6 seconds to 120 seconds, 90 seconds, 6 seconds. I like this. I like this a lot. I thought Chain Frost level 1 just had such a long cooldown, like it lasted forever. I know whenever I play Lynch and I use my Chain Frost once, I didn't get my Chain Frost like back again until I was level 16. It was really weird. So having that reduction in cooldown means that Lynch can be a little bit more aggressive, be a little bit more involved, which I think is actually vital since Lynch doesn't really contribute much to his team anyway. Outside of just flat out helping to win the early game. His ice armor, meh, But the best thing about Lynch is that the fact that he can be aggressive with his Ice Blast, but having that Chain Frost cooldown reduced is actually quite significant. Still the same on the max level, but still early levels means he can be a lot more awesome. Alright, so Infest now allows you to control the unit you are in by using a sub-ability. Control allows you to take control of the unit you're infesting, including the abilities. Oh my gosh! Including their abilities. If you take control of a unit while it will maintain its cover, however, it will become attackable by your enemy. Controlled units share lifesteal as movement speed, cannot be used on heroes. Interesting. So basically what happened in ability draft, when I played ability draft a lot, earlier on that is, basically what happened was some people would get Infest from Lifestealer, and they would get a Helmet Dominator, they would dominate a creep, infested, and then walk around in the creep. So now they don't have to do it anymore. All they have to do is just get themselves Lifesteals Infest, and they can do it all by themselves, which is actually quite interesting. So that means that Lifesteal is going to be a little bit more aggressive. He can be a lot more aggressive now, and I don't know if we're going to see. I don't know if we're going to see the craziness that I actually saw in the Village F, which is basically a Bane who had Infest, he had Brain Sap, and he had a Dagon, and he had Pugnus Thing. And it was basically, he just infested a creep, ran up to me the creep, and I'm like, oh look, a creep, why is a creep here? Like, why is a Wildkin Wildwing Richter here? And basically he jumps out, throws out a Brain Sap, throws out Decrepify, throws out his Dagon, and I die every single time. It was pretty annoying. But now he can do it all with one ability, so good job. Good job for buffing that guy. But this actually sounds really interesting, it sounds really cool. I actually want to see this played out a little bit more. I think Chin Lifestealer probably not going to be a thing, but it will be a cool thing to see. And now Lifestealer can be his own Night's Bomb, guys. We can have Lifestealer the Night's Bomb himself. I'm trying to think of what creep he can infest that can get in there really fast. Probably Sator Warrunner? Or yeah, Sator Warrunner, Sator Stump, or whatever they call it. Whatever they call the thing. Centaur Conqueror, there you go. Basically just runs into it, drops a stump, or like drops a stun, catches everybody, and he jumps out and just ravages people with his face. Speaking of faces, we have Lena down here. Attack projectiles speed increased from 900 to 1000, which is actually really good. That means that she can actually do a lot more damage when she does get her fiery soul up. Or a lot damage faster. Dragon Slave damage increase from 100, 170, 230, 280 to 1,001, or sorry, 100. Whoa, 110, 180, 250, and 320. So that's gonna be cool. That means she can actually might be able to finish all people. That's gonna be a nice nuke for the cooldown. Speaking of which, Dragon Slave mana cost increased from 90, 105, 125, and 140 to 100, 115, 130, and 145. That's gonna be pretty cool to see. Just basically her with more damage on that. I mean, she can clear creep race probably a lot faster. Lightning Strike Array damage rescaled from 90, 150, 210 to 280. To 120, 160, 200, and 240. So that means that maximum, like if you get 2 points in it, you'll be really good. Looks like they increase the stun duration as well. Lightning Strike Array stun duration, I'm skipping one. Lightning Strike Array stun duration increased from 1.6, 1.8, 2 to 2.2, all the way to 1.6, 1.9, 2.2, and 2.5. So that's a decent amount of time for a stun. That's a fantastic amount of time for a stun. Considering Invincible Spirit's Magic Missile does all like 1.75 seconds or 1.85 seconds, something really weird. It's actually really good. Lena does have a better stun. As for something that's relatively speaking not as expensive. Speaking of which, Lightning Strike Array mana cost increased, which is where I'm at right here, increased from 90, 100. 110 to 125, or 125 to 100, 110, 120, and 130. So some more logical scaling, I guess. But the main thing is that Lena's Lightning Strike Array is going to cost her mana, so she actually might need to get Arcane Boost a lot faster. Fiery Soul duration increased from 9 to 10 seconds. It's going to be great for Village Draft. Good job. Moving to Lion, base damage increased by 7. Jeez, does he need that much? And mana drain intervals from 0.25 seconds to 0.1 seconds. Kills illusions on the first tick. So that's going to be great. That means that a Lion can steal your mana a lot more efficiently, a lot faster. So it's actually going to be quite scary. Lone Druid removes the cast time of Spirit Bearer. What? Oh, remove the cast time on Spirit Bearer's return. Remove the cast time on Spirit Bearer's return. I didn't realize you had a cast time. Battlecry cooldown increased from 30 seconds to 60 seconds, so it's going to be not as aggressive. Battlecry duration reduced from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. Battlecry bonus damage increased from, holy crap, 20, 40, 60 to 50, 75, 100. Holy crap, do you need more damage on Spirit Bear? Battlecry bonus armor increased from 2, 4, 6 to 5, 10, 15. This guy's gonna be very scary. I don't think we'll see him get played a lot. But with the Battlecry cooldown reduced, or Battlecry cooldown increased, which basically gives your Spirit Bear a lot more damage. Also, Bear, Lone Druid himself, it gives him a lot more damage. Also, some additional armor. With that increase in damage, I mean, they can just rip down towers all day long. Like, give them 3 seconds with the tower, it's pretty much gone. It's gonna be very scary. I don't think we'll see like the return of like a lot of Lone Druid. I think that was basically because we saw Armlet Bear, which a lot of people loved. Moving on to Luna. Speaking of someone that everybody loves, we have Luna's Moonglaive. Level 4 bounces increased from 5 to 6. Cool, extra damage. And Eclipse Beam count increased from 4, 7, 10 to 5, 8, 11. Scepter increased from 4, 8, 12 to 6, 10, 14. Jeez, that's a lot of damage. Consider that each beam does, if I'm not mistaken, 300 damage. That is a nice damage increase. It's a 600 damage increase with a Scepter, and that's a 300 damage increase without a Scepter. Also, if I'm not mistaken, I think last time around they removed the maximum times a single hero can get hit by a beam. So that means that she can just pretty much do all that nuke damage to you just by herself. So that's gonna be cool, pretty cool. Meatball, divided we stand respawn time reduction from 20 seconds, or sorry, from reducing that. Yeah. Sorry, it's hard to read. Meepo, divided we stand respawn time reduction now 20% instead of 10, 20, 30. I didn't realize he had a spawn time reduction, but that's gonna be great. Now that means that at earlier levels it's not as detrimental for you dying. I mean, it's still detrimental because you died, but it's not as painful. And also later levels you're not just coming back every 2 seconds because you have a 30-second reduction or 30% reduction. Morphing Adaptive Strike max duration, or stun max duration, increased from 0.75, 1.5, 2.2, 3 to 1.25, 2.25, 3.25, and 4.25. Jeez. God, a 4.25 second stun with Adaptive Strike with the max strength? That's a freaking good stun. I think a lot of people might be more adapt to actually put Adaptive Strike. More adapt to actually put a few more points in Adaptive Strike now, because I mean, as a stun, it's gonna be really great for Morphin just to lock people down for 4 seconds. Like 4.25 seconds of just you wailing on somebody. That's crazy. It's outrageous. Moving to Night Stalker. Base attack damage increased by 4. Cool. Crippling Fear mana cost reduced from 90 to 50. Thank you. That thing was expensive for no reason. Crippling Fear was Night Stalker Silence, by the way, which also made you miss by like 40% at like nighttime or something like that. Darkness now sets all enemy vision maximum, or to a maximum of 675 instead of reducing it by 25%. Wow. Okay. This includes wards and buildings. Okay, that's great. I like the flat because 25% is basically a 1600. Hold on. Night vision. No, sorry, it's night vision. So night vision is 800. If you reduce that by 25%, that is basically. Oh man, hold on. Man, math is hard. Give me a second. 800 night vision reduced by 25%. That is 70 or 8 times 25, so that's 200 less, so 600 damage. Or sorry, 600 vision range. And since it sets it to a minimum of 675, okay, so I see. It's a slight nerf to Darkness then, which means that they can see a little bit further. Yeah, that means that you can see a little bit further at night. You're not as affected by it. Darkness no longer pauses day/night timer. Oh, nerf sucks. And darkness duration from 40, 60, 80 to 50. Darkness cooldown reduced from 180 seconds, 150 seconds, 120 seconds to 160 seconds, 120 seconds, and 80 seconds. I really do not like this change. Like I think this basically makes Night Stalker not as powerful. I mean, of course, he wasn't really played all that much, but still, I thought one of the coolest things about Night Stalker was the simple fact that he uses darkness to pause the timer on the day and night and just make the time last a lot longer. Given this new nerf that we're seeing to him, basically he's not as impactful to the game clock as he was before. So I guess Night Stalker as a counter to Coddle, which was one of my dreams, to see Coddle get an axe and Night Stalker get picked up just to counter Coddle. It's not really that big of a deal because I mean it doesn't do anything. Night Stalker can't pause the timer, so I mean, at the very least, Night Stalker will have a lower cooldown on his Darkness, but it really doesn't matter too terribly. I mean, 40 seconds reduction in cooldown at max level. I mean, you're not pausing the night timer. And like to be completely honest with you, if you want to, all things considered, all things equal, if you take the Darkness duration and you subtract it from the Darkness cooldown, because when you pop Darkness, that's when it starts doing the cooldown. At level 1, it was 140 second cooldown. At level 2, it was technically speaking 100 or 90 second cooldown, and at level 3, it was technically speaking a 40 second cooldown on Darkness, and that's actually a really crappy nerf to Night Stalker. Like I actually really don't, I legitimately don't like that. I just think it makes it really bad to be a Night Stalker. I mean, at least you got Crippling Fear, which has a mana cost reduction. But Night Stalker, as an impactful hero in the nighttime, I guess it's not gonna be that big of a deal anymore. So, moving on. Ogre Magi, Fire Blast damage reduced, thank you, from 60, 120, 180 to 240 to 55, 110, 165, and 220. Okay. Fire Blast cast range reduced from 600 to 475. Jesus, do you hate Ogre Magi that bad? Ogre Magi as a support, he's been played a lot. Like, I've been seeing him play just about every single game. I've been seeing him banned just about every single game. So seeing this nerf to Ogre Magi was, well, I mean, I expected to see a nerf to Ogre Magi. And Skywrath Mage as well, he's probably going to see a nerf too. But that's a huge nerf. Like it's basically going to put Ogre Magi back into his place of never getting played. His stun, like people got the taste of the Ogre Magi. They got the fever for the multicast. They got the gambling risk into their blood, and they also got the simple fact that you can basically have a free stun or 2 free stuns, and just chain the crap out of them and just like get multicast all day and just like ding ding ding, you're a winner. I seriously think this is gonna affect Ogre Magi's play quite a bit. That cast range is ridiculous. Like basically the simple fact that it's 600 cast range, or it used to be 600 cast range, which is really good. That means that basically you can walk into somebody at nighttime, which they have 800 vision range, and you just get 200 units closer to them, and by the time they react, they're pretty much stunned already. 475 is a significant reduction. That's 125 less time, or less advantage that Ogre Magi will have to actually get stunned. That's a huge nerf. I guess, like I said, he's been played a lot. Like, he's been pretty much picked / banned 100% in all tournament play. So I guess this makes sense, but still, that seems very, like, it makes you sad to see the Magi facing such a nerf. Moving to Outward Devourer, we see Astral Imprisonment Intelligence still increased. What? Increased from 4, 6, 8, 10 to 4, 7, 10, 13. Why does he need to increase? I understand. And also Astral Imprisonment Intelligence still duration reduced. Okay, this is good. Reduced from 60 seconds to 50 seconds. So I'm assuming that the increase in intelligence still is going to basically make up for the simple fact that OD basically can't use it as can't hold on to intelligence for as long as he was before. So that's gonna be good. Phantom Assassin Coup de Grace critical strike damage from 250%, 350% to 450%, or to 230%, 340%, and 450%. So that means that earlier levels is not going to be as strong, but still just as strong. I mean, a 10% reduction in critical strike damage at level 1 doesn't matter much. A critical strike difference at level 3 would have made a bigger impact as far as her overall damage output, but it looks like it's just trying to nerf, I guess, her dagger. I didn't foresee Phantom Assassin actually, like, you know, not getting killed because she lost 10% of her damage, but it does make it a little bit concerning that Phantom Assassin saw a nerf. She was, like I said, like we saw in those charts way earlier in the video, she was quite popular as far as being picked up. But of course, like I said, it's because she's been getting played a lot because of the contract thing. Moving to Phoenix, Supernova attacks required to destroy increased, thank you, from 5, 7, 10 to 5, 8, 11. Okay, not much, but still, that's one extra attack. That means that Phoenix might be able to actually get the ball to drop. I've seen a few times where basically she would use her ulti or her Supernova, and it would just like get so close, like 0.1 second off, and then it'll finally die. So having that one extra damage is actually pretty cool. And now a fixed stop Icarus dive ability sometimes being interrupted by auto attacks. Okay, nice little buff for Phoenix. So buffs all around Phoenix. Pudge meat hook range increased from 700, 900, 110 or 1,100 and 1,300 to 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, and 1,300. Wow. So early levels, his hook is going to be really potent. Later levels, it's gonna be about where it was before. So I'm on the fence about that one. Like Pudge as a hero doesn't really concern me. It's just when I think to my ability draft matches, because a lot of people like to pick Bloodseeker ult and get Pudge hook. That means that earlier levels they can do a lot more things, and it's really annoying in ability draft. Anyway, that's ability draft. It's not real life. Moving to Pugna. Decrepify movement slow on allies reduced from 50% to 25%. I thought they already did that. Netherward attacks required to destroy increase from 3 to 4. Cool. Blade Mail no longer reflects Netherward damage onto Pugna. I didn't realize it reflected that damage onto Pugna. That's actually kind of funny. Maybe Skywrath Mage with a Blade Mail was what pointed that out. Skywrath Mage gets Blade Mail, pops ult and kills Pugna. Easy game. Anyway, moving to Queen of Pain. When he pops ulti, of course. Moving to Queen of Pain, blink range increased from 700, 850, 1150 to 1300. Holy crap. Wow. Her blink range. Wait, is her blink range on par with Antimage's now? Like, okay, now I look up Antimage's blink range, because I think Antimage's blink range was like 100 or 1200 or something like that. Like, that is actually some scary stuff right there, guys. Like, Queen of Pain blinking that far with, like, level 1 blink? Holy crap, are you kidding me? Also, Sonic Wave now does pure damage and affects spell immune, so that's good. That means that her ulti is not going to be as crappy as it was before. Sorry, blink cooldown from 12 seconds, 10 seconds, 8 seconds, 6 seconds to 15, 12, 9, 6. I don't think that's going to matter much. I mean, I think people are just going to get level 1 in her blink and just basically max out other things. I've seen some builds like that, and they've actually worked out pretty decently. Probably because I was the one feeding, but that's besides the point, guys. Details, semantics. Sonic Wave now does pure damage and affects spellman units. Cool. And Sonic Wave damage reduced from 350, 475, 600 to 290, 390, 490. Okay, that makes sense because it's pure damage. I guess it's if you do the math for that one, because magic immunity gives you, or magic resistance, base magic resistance gives you 25% reduction in damage. So if you multiply 600 by 0.75, the overall damage it would have done anyway was 450, so that's technically a damage buff for her ulti. A lot of people might see that as, oh my gosh, damage reduction, but yeah, overall it's a flat damage buff, but considering that she usually builds a Veil of Discord, which removes all of your magic resist essentially, on a normal base hero, like a hero who doesn't have anything special, that basically is a nerf overall. Also, Scepter reduced from 350, 530, and 725 to 325, 450, and 575. Which, let me do the math for that one as well. So that means that Queen of Pain with a Veil of Discord is not as powerful as she used to be. That's what that means. Also, side note, if you are playing Queen of Pain and you do build an Aggro Scepter, it's not really for actually bursting down people. It's, well, it's used for bursting down people, but it's not really meant to be like you get an Aggro Scepter for like a massive increase in damage. It was only 125 damage increase. The old one was with an Aggro Scepter, so you really got it for the cooldown. And that was a debate that some people were having a long time ago, and I do agree with the people who are saying that you really just got it for the cooldown. Anyway, after looking at the 25% reduction of 725, we see ourselves a whole entire 543.75 damage overall. That was done with her original ulti with the Scepter. So now her overall damage is increased by, and it's pure damage. That's good, but still, it still feels like fishy for me. Like that blink range is so freaking long right now. Like I just foresee Queen of Pain just like level 1 blink for the whole entire game, and just like wrecking faces still. Moving to Riki, Blink Strike max charges increased from 345 to 456. Cool. Blink Strike charge time or charge restore time increased from 30 to 35. Cool. And Blink Strike bonus damage from 50, 70, 90 to 40, 70, 100. Cool. I kind of see it as more like a reality riff. Basically, like he has a bonus 600 damage now. So I guess it's all cool. And if I'm not mistaken, the way bonus damage works is bonus damage is flat damage. So that means that Riki will actually do 600 bonus or 600 extra damage if he uses all 6 Blink Strike charges on you. So versus something like maybe like a Crystal Maiden, like at level 12 or so, she'll probably still die to Riki, who's just using blinks. So that's gonna be cool. But overall, a nice little buff to Riki. Probably just give him a little bit more powerful here or there. I think we're going to see an age where Riki gets played a lot, because I think he has a hero that can actually do quite a bit, but let's not talk about that. Instead, let's go and talk about this Rubik. some people like to call them. Fade Bolt mana cost from 150 flat to 120, 130, 140, and 150. And Scepter still cooldown reduced from 5 seconds to 2 seconds. Crap, man. Rubik about to be reaching his old stages of, you know, just basically being a baller. Playing mid Rubik or feed. Moving to Shadow Fiend. Shadow Raise damage increased from 75, 150, 225, 300 to 100, 175, 250, and 325. So that's gonna be great. Silencer Glaives of Wisdom's intelligence increase. Sorry, Glaives of Wisdom intelligence into damage bonus from 30, 40, 48, 66, and 84% to 30, 50, 70, 90. So he gets more damage. Last word cooldown reduced from 36 seconds, 28 seconds, 20 seconds, and 12 seconds to 30 seconds, 24 seconds, 18 seconds, and 12 seconds. So level 1 is going to be really strong. Scepter Global Silence no longer increased duration by 1 second. What? Hold on. Okay, I see. So why would you get a Scepter? Wait. What's the point of a Scepter now? Just to apply damage from... Man, that's so bad. Jeez. So, okay. So, basically, Scepter for Silencer's ult, it basically is just used for extra damage now. Like, that sounds really bad. Like, there's now no incentive. There's absolutely no incentive to get Agony Scepter or Silencer anymore. Like, that extra 1 second can actually make the difference sometimes, but... I mean, first of all, it's just 1 second. Second of all, the damage coming out from Curse of Silent is not that great. I mean, Curse of Silent basically gives you, like, what? 360 extra damage on top of people? Actually, no. If I'm not mistaken, it gives you 520 resource lost on the enemy. So basically, they'll lose mana and also take damage. So that's resources lost total. I think, last time I did the numbers, I think that's what I got. But I don't remember off the top of my head. I think I'll look back at it again. But I mean, like, that's not worth it. Like, that's definitely not worth it. That's too much gold for... I mean, it's like a luxury item. Like, you basically have a Scotty on Silencer, Sheepstick, Rod of Atos, and you don't must buy, so you buy Nags. Moving to Skywrath Mage, base agility reduced from 18 to 13, which is actually good. Skywrath Mage had a really good attack rate, or he has a really good attack animation, and having his base agility reduced is actually kind of good for early levels. So that means he won't be able to get as many right clicks in as he used to between those arcane bolts. Moving to Slaughter, sprint duration reduced from 20 seconds to 16 seconds. Sprint cooldown reduced from 28 seconds to 23 seconds. So overall, a nerf to sprint, because Verizon's better. But basically, actually no, overall buff. No. I see it as a nerf. There's less downtime between your sprints, but I mean it lasts for a little bit less, so you can't like sprint as far. So I mean I see it as an overall nerf. And let me get some water real fast because my throat's killing me. Oh man, precious water. I forgot how good it felt to be not thirsty. Hashtag the thirst is real. Amplified damage cooldown reduced from 10 seconds to 5 seconds, so kind of like Bounty Hunter. A little bit more potent against people who can go invis, and also a little bit more, or he can be a lot more aggressive with that, with those clouds, just basically toss them on everybody. Speaking of tossing things, Pounce damage reduced from 60, 120, 180, and 240 to 55, 110, 165, and 220. Thank you. I don't realize. I mean, like, I don't understand why Pounce and Dark Pact do so much damage. Like Slark's primary source of damage at early levels, like, you know, post or pre level 12 or pre level 13, is basically Pounce and Dark Pact. Like, a lot of people don't want to give it credit, but Dark Pact does 300 damage in AoE, and Pounce used to do 240 damage once you hit somebody. So having that reduced by 20, I don't think it's significant enough. I think Slark is still as powerful as he used to be. That said, Slark as a carry versus like something like Face of Lord or Anti-Mage or something like that, he probably won't be able to stand a chance. But still, the simple fact is that Slark is still very annoying, and we all hate him. Well, I know I do. Sometimes. Most of the times. Sniper, Shrapnel no longer does damage to buildings. Thank you! Shrapnel now has 3 charges and with a 40-second replenish time. Question mark. Shrapnel's slow and damage does not stack with itself. Okay, cool. Shrapnel mana cost reduced, wow, from 120 to 50. Jesus. But it doesn't affect abilities now, so that's actually really good. Shrapnel duration increased from 9 seconds to 10 seconds. So Sniper can just stack shrapnels and just toss them whenever he needs to in like 3 areas. So that's gonna be cool to see. Spirit Breaker, empowering haste cooldown reduced from 20 to 16. So that's going to be good. That means that he can actually use proc his haste without having too much downtime between him actually getting a speed bonus and not. Storm Spirit turn rate improved from 0.6 to 0.8. If I'm not mistaken, Batrider and Earthshaker, I think they have the best turn rates in the game, and they're at 1. So Storm Spirit is really close to having one of the better turn rates. I mean, it's definitely better than what it used to be, but still, it's going to be really good now. Sven, Warcry duration from 7 to 8 seconds. That's cool. It means he can move a little bit faster for a little bit longer. Also, gets that bonus armor. And Scepter God's Strength ally bonus damage from 40%, 60%, 80% to 50%, 75%, 100%. Thank you. Why was it not 100% in the first place? Jeez, I don't understand that. It made no sense for Sven to get Ags because his allies only get 80% of their bonus damage. Why not just go ahead and get yourself Sven a more damage-based item, or maybe just get an AC just to help your team do more damage that way. But having the 100% actually might encourage people to get an Ag Scepter now on Sven. I'm still waiting to see that hit, maybe 150, 120, but basically what that means is that his allies will get half of the damage that Sven actually gets with his God Strength, so that's going to be really good. Hold on, I think, is that half? Yeah, it should be half. Meanwhile, moving on to Techies, added to Capsus mode, oh noes! Will be enabled next week, okay. Landmines damage increased from 225, 300, 375, 450 to 300, 375, 450, 525. Jeez, man, we're gonna see techies in Capsus mode, guys. That means we're gonna see some pro techies, pro tech play. Moving to Terrorblade, reflection cast point reduced from from 0.5 to 0.3. Okay. So that means it doesn't take him as long to cast reflection, so that's good. Sunder minimum HP from 25, 20, 15 to 20 flat. So that means that early levels is going to be a lot stronger. Later levels is still going to be just as strong because you can swap a whole entire person's HP, but at least I have a fighting chance to have 1/5 of their HP left, and you'll have all of their HP presumably. Tidehunter base movement speed reduced by 5. Jeez. And Ravage damage reduced from 200, 325, 450 to 200, 290, and 380. So that means early levels his Ravage is still going to do just as much damage, but later on in the game his Ravage won't do as much damage. Refresher Tide has been a big thing of this recent patch, and having a reduction in damage by, it's a 70 damage reduction is actually quite significant, because a double Ravage means that would have been 140 bonus damage Tidehunter would have got, and of course after reduction probably more like maybe 100 flat. But still, overall, Tidehunter as a hero is really powerful, especially this patch, and he's been like the new teamfight monster. Like, a lot of people are afraid of Brewmaster. I think Tidehunter's a little bit more of a threat, probably because I can't control Brewmaster's painlings the same in life. Moving to Tinker, Heat-seeking missiles damage increased from 100, 175, 250, 325 to 125, 200, 275, and 350. Because he needed a damage increase from his heat-seeking missiles? I don't understand. With the recent change where basically he can get an E-Blade and do damage with his heat-seeking missiles, I don't foresee a reason for Tinker to get more damage. Maybe Ice Frog just want to see Tinker get played more. I don't really know. But okay, guys, we see that happening. Move to Tiny. Toss duration increased from 1 to 1.3 seconds. So that means you fly longer in the air. Also, there's like a less of a jump when somebody gets tossed in, so it's like a slight less time, so you have a little bit more time to react, I guess. Grow movement speed bonus rescaled from 20, 40, 60 to 40, 50, 70, 60. Jeez, because he needed to move faster at earlier levels, but later levels he still moves the same amount of movement speed, so that's gonna be cool. Multi-Tree Protector. Eyes in the Forest overgrowth damage increased from 135 to 175 per second. Cool. I never really used that ability. I have not really seen that ability used, but I guess we're going to see it used more. Eyes in the Forest cooldown reduced from 55 seconds to 25 seconds. Like I said, we're probably going to see it used a lot more since that is a nice significant buff to Tree Protector. As far as him with an Axe, that is. Troll Whirler, fixed forever stacks count being 1 stack too slow. Okay, didn't realize that was happening. Moving to Tusk, Ice Charge projectile speed from 900 to 100 and sorry, 1,100. Cool. Ice Shard's duration from 5 seconds to from 5 seconds to 7 seconds. That's huge. War's Punch is now an enemy target ability and is auto castable. Cool. War's Punch cooldown rescaled from 25/20/15 to 20/16/12. Guys, all I gotta say is my ability draft experience has officially been ruined. War's Punch, I've seen it. Oh man, I've seen it so many times. War's Punch as an ability, like if you can get War's Punch plus like a crit, like say you get War's Punch plus the most recent one I saw was a Tree Protector. He had War's Punch, he had Bounty Hunter's Janata, and I don't think he had Grow. Somebody else had Grow, but he had like Track or something like that. And it was really scary because basically Tree Protector had 2 guaranteed crits. Like he had one super high power crit with War's Punch, and he had another crit with a guaranteed Janata crit, and it was disgusting because he basically just one-shot anybody, and it was really scary. We lost that game, by the way. But all that said and done, War's Punch is going to be nice to have a nice little auto-castable thing. So basically, whenever it's on cooldown, you use it to punch things. In ability draft, I think it's going to have a much more impact than it is on an actual pro player or anything like that, but it's still something to consider. Moving to Undying, Soul Rip max units from 5, 10, 15, 20 to 10, 12, 14, 16. Wow, that's pretty bad. Soul Rip damage / heal per unit is from 25 to 18, 22, 26, 30. That's just barely making up what was lost in the unit count. If you basically do all the math, that's basically what is that? Is that 25 times 20? That's math. Calculator, please, calculator, help me. Alright, 25 times 20 is a whole entire 500 maximum HP you can heal up, and now we have 30 times 16, so 30 times 16. Okay, 480. Alright. So that's no. That's a little bit less. But I guess what it does make it is it makes it a little bit more viable, I guess, because it requires less units to give you just as much heal. So I guess overall it's a little bit more efficient. Soul Rip is, of course. Tombstone armor increased by 1. I didn't realize I had armor. And Flesh Golem max slow increased from 15% to 20%. Cool. Because nobody realized that Flesh Golem actually slows you and increases your damage until somebody dies because they were too slow to run away. Just saying. Vengeance Spear Wave of Terror increased, or Wave of Terror cooldown increased from 15 seconds to 20 seconds. Cool. Visage Gravekeeper's Cloak recovery time from 12, 10, 8, 6 to 6 flat. Man, give Visage a buff, please. I guess this makes sense because Visage as a hero, he only has Gravekeeper's Cloak as far as being able to survive things. Like his magic resist is really bad. It's like 12.5%. How do I know? Because I played ability draft and I didn't get Gravekeeper's Cloak and I died really fast to a lot of nukes. And I think it's 12.5. It's not 0. It's like really low now, or really low last like a few patches ago. But having a lower cooldown on Gravekeeper's Cloak basically means that or lower recovery time basically means that Visage might be able to survive a few nukes here or there. Moving on to 2 Warlock, Fata Bond's cast range increased from 800 to 900. So cool. Fata Bond's radius increased from 575 to 700. Jesus, that's a huge increase in range. Like, he can cast her from so far away now, and he can get on so many more units. It's actually gonna be pretty strong. Like I said, I don't know if we're gonna see a lot of Warlock because of that, but we might see a lot more Warlock. Moving on to Wood Ranger, we see Power Shot travel range increase from 1825 to 2600. Cool. Power Shot max damage after. Power Shot's max damage is now dealt after 1 second channel time instead of 0.7. It always channeled to 1 previously. Okay, cool. So that means you have to actually channel it. You actually have to channel it to actually get your damage there. Power Shot cast point improved from 0.3 to 0. So that means it takes a lot less time to actually get the casting animation going. So that's gonna be great. And reduce the area of lingering vision at the end of Power Shot from 800 to 400. Cool. And Focus Fire's attack speed bonus increased from 400 to 500. And that's basically the thing that we read way earlier, saying that the maximum attack speed is increased to 500. So that's cool. Items, Courier, Animal Courier. Actually, whoa, hold on. Now I'm thinking about that, guys. Maximum attack speed increased by 500, like by 100. I didn't point this out before, but I'll point it out now. Basically, having a 400% yeah, basically having 400 points extra attack speed is basically increase your attack speed by 400%, and having a 400% increase in attack speed means that you attack 4 times faster than you did before at the very beginning of the game. So this 500% nonsense means that, or 500 extra attack speed nonsense basically means that they'll attack 5 times faster, which means that we can see Alchemist attack a lot faster than he used to, potentially, which is actually going to be kind of scary. Animal Courier, cost reduced from 150 to 120. Thank you, base god Dota. Moving to Armlet because couriers, they're expensive, man. That's a hard choice. Do I buy a ward or do I buy courier? Why not buy both? Moving to Armlet, recipe cost reduced from 600 to 500. Blink Dagger is no longer disabled if you take no damage. Okay, that's good. Alright, I see. Alright, that makes sense. Blink Dagger is no longer disabled if you take no damage. For example, Spike Characters or Refraction. Alright, that makes a lot of sense, because I never understood why Tempo Assassin's Blink Dagger was on cooldown when she got hit, when she had Refraction up, because she was taking no damage, but okay, cool. Bottle, a courier carrying a non-full bottle will always be slowed. Instead of only being slow with the empty bottle. So leaving one charge in the courier is no longer a legit thing. Either take the bottle and go fix it yourself, or GFOT. Drink out of the bottle. Broadsword replaced Talisman of Evasion. What? Okay, Broadsword replaced Talisman of Evasion with Broadsword in Side Shop. Okay. So that means that you won't be able to buy your Butterfly out in the field, but you will be able to buy a full Blade Mail out in the field. Because a Blade Mail, you need a Chain Mail, you also need a Robe of the Magi, and you also need a Broadsword. So, I mean, you can buy a full Blade Mail out in the field now, guys. That's actually quite significant. Talisman Evasion before, it was just kind of there. So I actually like to see the Broadsword there, because a lot more people buy the Broadsword. Also, it means that if you're buying the Battle Fury on something like Anti-Mage just farming the lane, you can get your Broadsword a lot faster. So, that's actually a nice little switch, a nice little swap. It makes it a lot more useful item in the inventory, because, Blade Mail and Battle Fury, that's what it's going to be used for. That's the only thing it's actually used for. Actually, no, crit. You can also get most of the pieces of crit out in the field now too. So that's going to be really good. But having to replace Talisman Evasion, because nobody really bought Talisman Evasions, it's actually really cool, so good job. Moving to Circlet. Circlet cost reduced, oh my gosh, from 185 to 165. So no Talisman Wraithband and Bracer recipe cost increased by 20 to counterbalance that. But having that circlet reduced by end causes basically means you can just like stack circlets. That's gonna be cool. I know I always do that because I'm a dude. Clarity mana restored increased from 135 to 150. Cool. Crimson Guard duration, or Crimson Guard duration, which is just Crimson Guard's active, which blocks I think 90. No, it blocks 50 damage. It's guaranteed block of 50 damage. For anything coming into you. Guard duration increased from 9 seconds to 10 seconds. Good. Diffusal Blade is no longer a unique attack modifier. Multiple mana break type abilities do not stack on. I got really happy. Oh my gosh, guys! Oh my gosh. Sorry, I kicked my table. Oh my gosh, guys! Anti-Mage Diffusal Blade is legit. But yeah, okay. So basically, you can get Phantom Lancer is going to be buffed. You can get a Diffusal Blade. You can get a Melnir, and you can also get yourself a Desolator now. Also, Clinks. Oh my gosh, could you buff Clinks more, please? Buff Clinks more, please. I just want to see Clinks buffed way more. Clinks with Searing Arrows not being a unique attack modifier, Diffuse Blade not being a unique attack modifier. All is left now is for Mana Break to not be a unique attack modifier on Anti-Mage, and it's like I don't even know how to play Dota anymore. Like I don't know what to build. Like everybody's gonna build Deso. Everybody's gonna build Deso Flaming Arrows and Diffuse Blade, whoever in Ability Drive. It's gonna be so gross. Anyway, so yeah, that's the thing, guys. So Diffuse Blade is no longer a unique attack modifier. Jump endurance charge increased from 5 to 6. Cool. So that means you get a little bit more bang for your buck. Get it? Bang or bong for your buck. You'll Scepter or Divinity. Recipe cost increased from 500 to 650. Cool, because a lot of people are rushing for Yules. Like Jakiro, pretty much Jakiro, Ogre Magic. Oh, not Ogre Magic. Jakiro, Auto Titan. It was pretty much guaranteed or core item on them, especially nowadays. I also Puck 2. Moving to Healing Salve, cost reduced. Thank you, from 115 to 110. Okay, close enough. Taxes are getting reduced, guys. This is good. We take pride in the small victories. Speaking of small victories, Helmet of Dominator, dominated unit bonus health increased from 250 to 500. Holy crap! Jeez, I didn't realize it gave him bonus damage or bonus HP, but that is great. That's fantastic. That means that you can actually use it to actually do something. Oh, if only you had Chin's Holy Persuasion to use on yourself. Is it Holy Persuasion? I think it's Holy Persuasion. Chin persuades himself so hard that the creeps show up. That's like so baller. Anyway, moving on to Magic Wand, max charges increase from 15 to 17. Thank you. That means that you can actually get a Magic Wand and actually be a little bit more valuable than just having 5 extra charges. There was a Reddit thread about the item discussing Magic Wand a little bit ago, and I think there were a few people arguing that having the upgrade is actually not worth it. I mean, yeah, you get to augment your inventory by making everything smaller, but that's really the only benefit you got. The wand charges themselves weren't really the main focus. It's basically getting those 3 extra stats in one inventory slot, plus having the additional heal. But given that you get 2 extra charges, is actually pretty good. That makes it a lot more valuable than it was before. And we might just see ourselves some more wands picked up. I mean, magic wands are also always a good item early on. Medallion of Courage recipe cost increased from 200 to 325. Valor can now be cast on allies to give them armor, and passive armor and exchange armor increased from 6 to 7. Sweet. Okay. That's nice. That's nice. I like that. That's a nice buff. Like, I like that. That means it's gonna make it more as an item. It's gonna make it more valuable for people to get. And it might actually make support Silencer a thing because Silencer can actually help his ally stay alive that he's trying to protect. But with all this said and done, having that active is also really good. Having the extra region that a Medallion of Courage gives you is also fantastic. Having just the casual armor is also really great. So I like what I'm reading. This is a really good, really nice change to Medallion of Courage. Pipe of Insight recipe cost reduced from 900 to 800, and barrier duration increased from 10 to 12. So that means that you can get Pipe of Insights a little bit faster. Refresher Orb cooldown increased from 185 to 195. Cool, so 10 seconds extra. And Shadow Amulet, the last one, cost reduced from 1600 to 1400. Your movement is now only interrupted when the invisibility starts rather than when you cast it. Okay, so that means that you can kind of go invisible, so you can like walk, and then you can use your Shadow Amulet, you can keep on going, and then once you go invisible, it'll stop you. So that's cool. That means that you can do some cool jukes with a Shadow Amulet, like just a solo Shadow Amulet. And that's it. Oh, hold on, no, that's not it. We got additional changes. Gameplay. When spectating a game with the team's Fog of War selected, you now only see what they can see in world and on the minimap. This applies to the player perspective as well. Improved server stability under UDP packet flood attack by moving packet processing off the game thread and onto worker threads. Cool. That's like some awesome technical thing that I should understand. Like I know UDP's oh my god. Oh, my Cisco's failing me right now. It took like 2 years of Cisco classes, and I forgot everything. TCP transmission control protocol and UDP. Oh man, it's gonna bother me until I figure it out. I don't know. You guys go ahead and post in the comments what you guys think that is, or just Google it like I should right now. Added a source effect that plays when Sanjin Yasha maims proc on an attack. Oh, added a sound effect. My bad. All right, so that's good. That's good. That means that you'll actually know if you're actually maimed, and it'll be a nice little sound, kind of like the crit sound, like the sound that you hear on crits, which actually threw me off like the first 20,000 times I heard it. I was like, oh my gosh, is he eating me with his... Oh my gosh, it sounds so weird. Alt-click. Alt-clicking now works on passives and unlearned abilities. Good. You can now alt-click your own and your enemy's health and mana bars to announce the current health and mana. Good, good. That's going to be great for supports like me who ping the crap out of everything. If you alt-click an item or ability but do not have enough mana, the amount of mana needed will be shared. Good. So just some nice little utility things just to help the game out overall. And also consistency with pinging your abilities, which I thought was a great thing. Pinging your enemies' abilities too, or pinging your enemies. You can now alt-click buffs and debuffs on your hero to announce them on your team. Good. So that means if somebody's getting tracked, you can basically ping or alt-click your ally and let them know, hey, you're tracked, hey, you're tracked. Alt-clicking now works on items without activation such as Ages of the Immortal. Good. So like I said, some ubiquity going around. So alt-click is going to be a new thing for everybody. Alt-click abilities that are now ready now also includes the level of the ability. That's a little excessive. I don't actually like. I mean, that's excessive. That's a little bit too much. Alt-clicking on a dead enemy's icon in the top bar will announce that they are dead, and when they respawn. Okay, that's gonna be good for pushes. Basically saying, oh my gosh, anti-mage is dead for 85 seconds. Like just ping that and everybody will know. instead of me having to type that in and chat it out to everybody. Alt-clicking your respawn timer announces your respawn time to your team. Okay, that's good. That's good. If I'm not mistaken, I think if you alt-clicked your buyback timer, it bought you back automatically. So maybe that's another change too. Alt-clicking on the glyph button will announce its status, and control alt-clicking the button will suggest not using the glyph yet. Okay, cool. Like I said, some more ways to communicate with your team without having to use words. So some more ubiquity going on, as far as just give me the most communication tools as possible. And alt-clicking on alt-clicking an enemy's bottle now shows what runes inside of it. Okay, that's good. I thought I already did that, but if I'm not mistaken, I don't think it did, because I think if I alt-click an enemy's bottle, it said enemy has bottle, and it's like, okay, I know that. I'm trying to tell them what runes in it. Anyway, bug fixes. Fixes for several bugs being erroneously visible through Fog of War. I think one of them was Phantom Assassin's Crit. Also, another one was, if I'm not mistaken, another one was Ice Shards. You can see Ice Shards if they get casted, so you can actually know if somebody's actually doing Roche. Fix a case where users had a very large control group setting files, which was causing long delays after selecting the hero. Some users in this situation have had their control groups reset. Uh-oh. Okay, that sucks. Fix not being able to taunt some enemies after using a prediction charm. Cool. And fix death effects not playing. Good overall, more consistency. And the last one is workshop. Fixed not being able to edit .pcf particle files when launching Dota 2 with -tools -nop4. Cool. And that's gonna be it, guys. That's gonna be it for the patch notes. So we made it through this patch notes. It only took us about 2 hours. Pretty much 2 hours. Actually, no, like an hour and 40 minutes, but close enough. And that was it. So this is a very glorious patch. This has been the patch analysis for the Shifting Snows. We've talked quite in depth about a few things, but the main thing I'm getting from this patch is that they're basically trying to make a few heroes a little bit more viable. They're also trying to make a few heroes a little bit more flexible, like Sniper. And I think the most significant thing that's popping out on the top of my head that I can think of, that's like a huge, gigantic change, is the fact that Ogre Magi got nerfed really hard. Excuse me. And then we also saw a very nice buff on Leshrac, so we might see a lot of Leshracs get played. As a hero, I think Leshrac can actually do quite a bit. A lot of people agree with me on that statement. Basically, his ulti, his Pulse Nova, whatever it's called, it's really good as far as it being an ability. It does a lot of damage, and also simple fact that you'll have more slow in your lightning, you'll have more damage or more duration on your Diabolical Edict. Actually, hold on, let me think about that. Now I think about that. Wait. Okay, Diabolical Edict's duration increased from 8 to 10. Actually, that's bad. My bad. If I said that was really good, that's actually kind of bad. That means it takes him 2 seconds longer to do all the damage on Diabolical Edict, which means that it takes him a little bit longer to actually push towers. So that was actually a nerf. My bad, guys. Anyway, so that's gonna be it, guys. Like I said, I'm not gonna ponder over too much. Like I said, the only things that stuck out to me were basically the whole entire Sniper thing with his charges, and I like the fact that they're giving buffs to Ricky just to make him a little more playable. But that's really about it. So my name is CoolBlue. I suppose you guys this video in the Casters Network patch analysis series for Dota 2. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to go ahead, you can go ahead and like this video if you liked it. Dislike if you dislike it. Leave your comments below. Definitely let us know what you guys think. And also shout out to Casters Network for letting this video go through, even though I'm the one who created Casters Network, so it's kind of selfish. But hey, I can go and give a shout out to myself and my crew. And that's it. So hopefully we get a lot more videos posted for you guys here. But that's going to be it for this one. So hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, we'll see you guys whenever.